How is it going, guys, and welcome to another Aloft tutorial video where today we're going to be hopping through and we are going to be talking a few tips and tricks that are going to make you guys even more efficient when it comes to the game of Aloft. So the first one we're going to go through, guys, is we're going to be talking a little bit about weapon and fighting efficiency. Now, when it comes through for this efficiency, it's not just weapons, it's not just fighting, it's not just flying, and it's not just harvesting. It's all of them together. When going through and doing your harvesting, building, anything like that, keep in mind that you are going to have an efficiency bar on it. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. When going through and mining, you see that little yellow bar that's popping up right there? That little yellow bar is going to make you all the more efficient when going through and mining. If you click too soon or you click too late, you'll have that little red blinking bar and it won't be as efficient. This also works with building. If I was to go through and throw down a couple of random walls here for you guys, I can show you what I'm talking about. If you were to go through and build one wall at a time, you could build one wall at a time. But if you can do it efficiently and click, you can click on that yellow bar and either build multiple items at the same time, or you have the chance to build an entire wall, floor, roof, anything like that in one click. So it's important that you're making sure you're getting used to clicking on that efficiency bar. This also works with fighting, it works with harvesting like mining, and it works with gliding. And I like this one, guys. I like to talk to you guys about this one a little bit more because flying around and using this boost, Aloft is all about exploration, right? It's all about flying around, exploring different islands, finding different technologies, and slowly building your base better and better and better. But when you're flying around, a lot of your time is spent flying. So I found this tip to be super helpful. You guys see that white bar that just popped up right there that allowed me to boost again? I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. It works the best when you're trying to go home, but if you boost, you see that white bar? Boom, you can boost again. There's times when you can click that boost button multiple times, picking your character and going insanely fast. Being able to glide around incredibly fast is so important in this game for the exploration reasons in this game. So keep an eye out and make sure you guys are practicing hitting that efficiency spot every single time that you can. Okay, so that's tip number one. Tip number two comes to the importance of food and farming. Now, farming takes a little bit for you to unlock. You have to go around and unlock a bunch of different areas. You have to unlock a bunch of different technologies, from the compost bin, getting llamas or sheep so that way they start crapping to give you manure, going through and unlocking the door kip, which the door kip is not that hard to unlock. If you guys need that recipe here, I'll show you right now. The door kip to unlock that guy is right here. It's a spear / hoe, and it's 2 pieces of wood, a rope, and a single sharp stone, and that will unlock the door kip, which allows you to use it as a hoe or a spear. So keep that in mind when going through and farming. But why is food so important? Well, I'll tell you guys about that right now. Food is important because it gives you buffs and bonuses. Not only will it increase your health, but keeping your character hydrated is also important. You can see if you go through and drink this clean water, it hydrates your character, increasing your attack speed. Now, when going through and fighting, if you want to unlock new fighting moves, guess what? You have to fight more. You have to fight more mushrooms, you have to fight more tentacle things, you have to fight more flying enemies, you have to fight all sorts of different things in order for you to unlock new, more impressive moves for your fighting repertoire. So keeping your character hydrated is important. The other thing is eating, guys. Guess what? It gives you bonus health, and they do bonus things for you. So go through, make some food, unlock all the different things from a fire pit to a cooking plate, and allow yourself to unlock some different recipes. The last thing that I have for you guys is to talk a little bit about digestive tea when it comes to food. Digestive tea, what it does is it's an herbal tea made from leaves and water. It's literally 3 leaves and 1 water, and it'll make it so you consume, and then you will instantly digest all of your meals. So for instance, if I was to go through and eat this sugar beet and this corn, that gives me plus 16 to health for 3 minutes. But if I drink this digestive tea, it wipes out the 2 spots you have, because you only have 2 spots. If in that lower left, you only have the 2 spots for food. You drink that digestive tea, you find a better meal, you eat that, now you can have even more bonus health, and that is important, once again, when you're going around and fighting. Speaking of going through and fighting, that leads to tip number 3, and that's the importance of laying down and healing your character. If you guys are low on health, you'll notice if you eat things, you'll slowly start to recover health. But the best way for you to go through and recover health is by resting on an island that is not claimed by the evil mushrooms, right? And let me show you guys exactly how to do that. What you'll do is you'll come over and you'll lay down. So you'll come to a grassy area on any nice island. This one happens to be my home, but you can do it on any island, and you'll look straight down. See this lay down button? Just go ahead and lay down. Now, a couple of different things are going to happen. You'll see that my health bar just skyrocketed, but those little white bars underneath your health also go down. Now, this is great because it gives you an ability to heal, but you gotta go recharge those white bars. How do you do that? Well, it's actually really simple. You have to fly fast. So just angle your character down and fly incredibly fast, and you'll notice that they charge up really quick. And then in case you take damage, you just fly back to your house really fast, and you go back and you lay down once again. And you can lay down literally anywhere where it's nice and you have a clear area where you're not going to be attacked by enemies. So that is very important when going through and doing that battling. This will also help if you eat food and you get bonus health. You are going to be able to lay down to refill that bonus health all the way up. So keep that in mind and use this tip as much as you can. Alright, so enough about fighting and enough about eating and keeping your character healthy. Let's talk about something a little bit more important when it comes to the exploration side of Aloft, and that is your home, your island, where your base is. Now, there's a couple different things you want to keep in mind when going through and building your base. The first one is be a little picky about the kind of island you're using for your base. Don't make some of the mistakes that I did early in the game. First things first is don't pick an island that's super small, but don't pick one that's absolutely massive. What do I mean by that? If you guys go here and you access your steering wheel once you build on an island, you can see the weight of the island. It's that bar that's all the way on the left-hand side. You can see mine is completely full. That's because I have the largest island that you can use to navigate around. And it's going to make it so it takes more items in order for you to move around. Yes, that does come with the bonus of having more building space, but having an absolutely massive island like I do, as you can see, my island is absolutely massive. It's nice because you have more building area, you can have more crafting stuff, you can farm more, you can do all sorts of stuff, but it makes you slower. So if you're trying to go around, explore, find new technologies, just be a little picky about the island you're choosing. And whatever island you do choose, use this tip as well. Make sure it has some sort of water source on it. Some islands do not come with a water source. Having any sort of water source is important. As I said before, when going through and fighting, keeping your person hydrated is important. So having a place where you can collect water and then use some charcoal and water on a cooking station or even just in a crafting station to make clean water is important. And having that unlimited resource on your home base is just another bonus. So like I said, be picky when going through and building on your island and picking your home. Now, the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about with your home is switching homes, okay? Switching homes comes with two different things. First of all, if you're going to ever switch your home in this game, make sure you move everything you want from your original home island to your new home island before you switch homes. Because when you interact with your home beacon here, right, and you say delete home island, it's not kidding. It legitimately deletes the entire island, everything you have on it, all of your gear, all of your animals, all of your crafting stations, everything that is on your island, it gets deleted. It does not put it in your inventory. It's just gone. So make sure if you are going to move islands, you take everything off of the island first. Speaking of taking things off of an island, let's talk a little bit more about the things that you put on your island, your sailing equipment. This is our next tip, guys. Do not be afraid to build a lot of these things on your island. It is going to make flying easier. Okay, what do I mean by that? Your rudders, your sails, and your risers, make sure you're building multiple of them, because as you get a larger and larger island, you're going to need more in order to move you around. For instance, I have 2 sails here, right? I also have 2 sails over here. I also have 4 more sails in the back of my island, and all of that only attributes to not even a third of my bar that you can see in the right hand corner for the green mark, and that is for sails. The rudders is yellow. Now I have 4 rudders on my island right now. Rudders are pretty efficient. You could build probably 8 of them, and you'll have a very good amount of turning ability, right? And then finally, my risers. I have 7 risers on this island, and I'm not even a fifth of the way through my bar. Keep that in mind. Do not be afraid to build a lot of these. It's going to make moving around your massive or tiny island, whatever you choose to want, all the more efficient and make it so exploration doesn't take quite as long. All right, so the last 2 tips that I have for you guys here are going to be a little bit more advanced. They're going to be things that you're going to want to run across and or that you're going to have to deal with a little bit later on in the game. The first one, guys, is pretty simple, and that is make sure you're picking up everything. Like when you're going through and you see some heavy stone, mine it, pick it up, bring it back, put it into storage. When you see some extra stones laying around, if you can, pick them up. The stones and wood stack up to 250 in your inventory. Don't be afraid to start picking up a ton of stuff because you are going to need it. You're going to need this stuff. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is storms. As you can see, we have a storm that is kind of brewing over here on this side of my island. Yes, getting further into the game and going off into more advanced parts of the map, those are going to have more storms and stuff like that. We'll talk about that in a more advanced video. What I want to talk to you guys about is when it actually starts storming on the island that you're on. A couple of different things are going to happen. One, your character is going to get wet. Yeah, I know, right? It's raining. But being wet makes it harder to sail, just so you guys are aware. Being wet makes it so you're less efficient when it comes to gliding around. So keep that in mind when going through and going into storms. The other thing is, look what happens when you start to get wet, guys. When you're going through and you hit a storm, whether it's on your island or you're sailing around, keep in mind it's going to make your glider next to useless, okay? If you hit a storm, land on an island and ride it out. If you hit a storm with your main island, stop moving because it can destroy your sails. It can destroy your rudders. It can destroy your risers, making it so you cannot move around. Go home, land, and do some stuff like farming or building, tending to your many sheep that you end up building up. Do some research, things like that. Just hold off on sailing around. That way you don't end up having issues where things are breaking or you have to go through and restart something because you ended up falling off your island, trying to sail around, and guess what? You end up breaking your glider and down goes Johnny and you go down to the ground and you can't recover. So just keep those things in mind, guys. I hope these tips and tricks have been helpful for you. If they have, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment down below if you have some more tips and tricks you'd like me to cover, or if you guys are just enjoying the game of Aloft, let me know down in those comments as well. But thank you guys all so much, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.